What's up, you people? David here. And this is a video I'm probably not gonna edit because I really just want to be real with you people. It's been like I don't know, I've lost track of time, but it's been like a few weeks maybe since my mother, passed away. And I don't know. I mean, I've been going from day to day. I've been going from day to day. I haven't I just been feeling different ways about it. When I cook or when I play games or when I do anything else, I kind of forget about the fact that she's gone. I only ever start remembering it when I look in the living room and I notice that the steel chair she used to sit in, she's never in it. I used to make baked potatoes and talk to her while making it. My mom was my best friend. We had conflicting views in life. We've had arguments and we had moments where we just clicked, where we got along, but ultimately, she was my best friend. And one thing about my mom is that she helped a lot of people, and she never wanted to hurt anyone. She never wanted she was a people pleaser in her own way. She didn't like to step on anybody's toes, and some people take advantage of you when you're like that. And I always wanted my mom to have more of a backbone, say how you feel, speak your mind, because she was hurt. And she was hurt for a long time and depressed, and she felt ugly and she had a low self-esteem. And there's nothing I wanted more for her than to know that she was beautiful and that I appreciate her and that I love her, and that there was more to life than sadness. There was nothing I wanted more than for her to know that, and that I loved her. Because with all the performative love in the world, and with all the, family drama and everything that going on around her, she always tried to keep everybody's spirits high. She ain't never want us to suffer. And when I went to her funeral, I've even forgot the funeral date. I'm gonna have to pause the recording because I put it somewhere here in my notes. Hold on. Okay, her funeral was July 10th. And I didn't have it in me to speak at it. I did see her, and when you're dead, like your face kind of drops back, so when I looked at her in the coffin, there was this strange feeling. I didn't break down crying because she looked so at peace, and she wasn't suffering anymore. And I remember seeing her in the hospital, and when they were cleaning her and she was moaning and groaning, and it was torture. it felt torturous. And the last coherent words my mom ever said to me was please. After they were done like cleaning her, I was holding her hand and I was telling her, you're okay. You know, it's over. You made it through. You know, you're good. And then she looked at me and she said, please. It's like she was saying, please let me go. Please end this. Please, I do not want to be hurt anymore. I don't want to suffer anymore. And, you know, my whole family was in denial, you know, at the time that she was passing away. You know, her liver had already failed. Nothing was functioning on its own. And, you know, as much as I wanted her here, I knew that it was over. My heart didn't want to think that it was over, you know, but it was.
When she got here, I think she was already pretty low. And by the time that like she got, her blood pressure went down, I think that day that she got really confused, her liver was already failing. And I think now it's really like all these numbers that's the reason why we intubated her today too, is that all the things that we want the liver to do, everything is building up and she's getting really sick. So that's the reason why we decided to do that and, you know, stabilize her to a point where at least like she's still here for you guys, you know?
So the CT scans and stuff, did they show anything?
I'll take a look right now. We can take a look at the CT scan. The reason we got the CT scan is because there's a possibility that it's, you know, not these things, that it was like a perforation. And if it's perforation, we can fix it, right? If it's something, the bowel accidentally perforates, we can always fix that, right? But I think looking at her numbers, looking at all the stuff, that's why we asked the liver to see her, all these things. I have very low suspicion that it is that. It's something that we thought about, and I was maybe a little bit too optimistic that I thought it was something else. You know, I really wanted it to be something else.
So pretty much the chances are very slight to none that she'll recover.
Yeah, it is.
But there's always hope.
Yeah, there is. There's always hope, but I also want you guys to understand like where we're at, and I'm really sad this is how she came to us. You know, I think if she had been with us a little bit sooner, we shouldn't say that.
And the worst part about death is sometimes adjusting to life without that person. I looked in her phone and everything, and you know, it's heartbreaking that she knew she was sick the whole time and she was hiding it and masking it because she thought it would be an inconvenience to us for her to be sick, because we were all like very dependent on my mom as a smart woman as she was, and you know, as she was handling a lot of things in the house, you know, and she put her well-being last on the list because she didn't want to be a burden. And I want you to know, and everybody watching it to know, that you're not a burden. And please don't do that, because there's nothing that I would wish on this earth than for my mom to be here. And there's no house, there's no amount of money, there's nothing in the world that is worth more than your life. And I'm so tired of people who thinks that there is no job in the world, there's no house in the world, there's no amount of money in the world that's more important than you. You're more important than anything on this earth without anything to your name. And I wanted my mom to know that, and I never felt like I gave her a proper tribute. I did make her a speech. I did write her a speech. You know, I may put in a voice message because I'm recording on my phone, because I broke my camera, you know, in a fit of rage. I was going through a whole lot of things, and life has just been tough, you know, and nobody on this earth was perfect, and my mom wasn't perfect, and me and her even had our ups and downs. But there's one thing for sure: I loved my mom very, very much, and I don't need to convince anybody of that. And I feel like in this lifetime, I wanted to give her an actual tribute, and I wanted to really express that love for her. And my mom, since she was insecure and she had a low self-esteem, she doesn't have a lot of videos that she recorded of herself. You know, she's mostly being recorded either by my brother, or, you know, if she's holding the camera, she's recording something else, you know. But she was very insecure because she thought she was old and ugly. And I didn't ever want her to think that. In her life, she grew up always being called ugly, and she was bullied a lot, you know. So she's never found that she was beautiful. And I really, really want people to know that no matter who calls you what, you are beautiful. And my mother is beautiful. And everybody in this earth is beautiful. You know, you're created in God's image. You are beautiful. And the only ugliness in this world is evil and sin. That's the only ugliness. But yes. I love my mother very much, and we don't have a lot of pictures of her, but we do have enough. And you know, I wanted to make this video to say that I love you, Mom. For those who don't know, she passed away June 29th. She took her last breath. And this is my tribute to you, Mother. And even though I know she ain't gonna watch this, obviously, but in spirit, she knows I said it. I believe that she knows I love her in spirit. And I pray that she is in God's arms, and I pray that he is holding her close and that he's taking care of her. And I pray that one day I stay on the narrow path enough to meet her. I love you. I love you, Mama. This is the speech I wrote for my mom that I never got to tell her. My mother and I had a very complex but loving relationship. I loved everything about her, and although we had our moments, I learned a lot from her. My mother taught me the importance of taking chances, and she never told me that failure was something to fear. She taught me that even when you're in pain, faith is something to hold on to. I used to always confide in my mother, and I'll miss her deeply. The biggest lesson my mother taught me is that life is too short. It's too short for drama, it's too short for hate, and it's too short to take anyone for granted. If I had another day to say anything to my mother, it would be thank you. Every day, it haunts me that most of these texts I sent to her while she was in the hospital will never be read by her. But I hope that she can hear me today. I want her to know I love her and that her sacrifices are acknowledged. I want to say, I love everyone here today who showed up. Despite anything we went through and anything you're going through, don't take any moment for granted with those you love, because you just never know when they won't be here anymore. God bless you all.
She was just a little girl, scared and shy. Mama working late while the nights went by. Her father's face she barely knew. The closer she looked, the further her heart flew. Tried to protect her heart, she pulled away silent walls to keep the pain at bay. Love was missing, hugs were few. Anxiety grew where the sunshine withdrew. She prayed to God just to make it through. Lord, hold me close, see me through. All through the storm, she kept on standing. Through the pain, her faith kept man she loved betrayed her trust. A love so deep, hurt by lust. She tried to give, tried to hold on tight, but tears fell silent in the lonely night. Still she stayed for the children's sake, her heart so heavy yet it wouldn't break. She saw a pattern yet she chose to forgive, held on to faith and continued to live. And God above saw her weary soul, He held her close and helped her grow. She said, Lord, I'm weary, but I'm still yours. I've been knocked down, but I'll endure. These scars I carry, they tell my song. You've been with me all along. Oh, through the storm she kept on standing. Through the pain her faith kept landing. When love betrayed, she didn't lose her way. She found her peace when she learned to pray. Oh, Tyra, your tears weren't in vain. God turned your sorrow into strength again. Now your heart shines through the gray. Through the storm, you found your way. I watched my mama fight through every night, turn her pain into love, her wrongs into right. She taught me courage, taught me how to be strong and gentle, full of empathy. Her hands may have trembled, her heart may have bled, but she gave me hope, and that's what she said. Child, life will test you, but grace will stay. Keep your faith, you'll find your way. Now she walks in sunlight, her heart at rest. The storm's behind her, she's truly blessed. No longer haunted by shadows past. She's found her home in love that lasts. Her laughter rings, her eyes shine bright. Faith carried her through the darkest night. And every prayer, every tear she gave built the life she lives, strong and brave. Oh, through the storm she found redemption. Through the hurt, divine connection. She stood firm through trials and rain. Now she walks in healing's name. Oh, Tara, your faith remains. Your love's the light that breaks the chains. Through the storm you found your way, and now your soul is here to stay.